All right there. Now, couple of minutes, a little bit of music for you. I can't get enough of this tune at the minute. Let me get some water. Let me get a nice cold, ice cold Pocari Sweat from the refrigerator. And I'll be with you. So I'll let you keep an eye on my goings on, like, you know, I wouldn't won't be hiding behind any doors or anything. Audio, right, good. There will not be hello Atty Chris, good lord. Hello mate. Wonderful. What a treat. Right, here we go. Couple of minutes and I'll be with you. Ta-ta.
Man, you're in trouble. You've been living in the rubble of the demolition of your dreams. You wanna rally, but you're lying in an alley, and we're never gonna hear the scream. If you're a man, then get a plan and be the king of all. You gotta go and get a show and be the last to fall. Just be a sunrise and shine a light on every day. Just be a sunrise and not a candle burning away. Man, you're a junkie, you've been living like a monkey, but they never let you in the zoo. You wanna hustle, but you haven't got a muscle, and your lips are nearly turning blue. Who wouldn't rage, stuck in a cage, with all you got to give? Get out of bed, man, you've been dead, but now it's time to leave. Just be a sunrise and shine a light on every day. Just be a sunrise and not a candle burning away. Just be a sunrise and shine a light on every day. Just be a sunrise and not a candle burning away. Hey. All of your reasons are holding you back. Just go in and attack. Just begin. You can pack a good punch in the head of the voices of dead people you used to be. Just be free, let it go. Stop the show, get your flow. You're the king. Everything is for you. It's for you. It's for you. Don't be fooled by their lies. They just blinded your eyes. But it's time for your prize. Now the fun has begun. Just be a sunrise.
On. Hey. Right. Apologies, my mouse is almost on death's door now. That tune is growing on me. Although the more I listen to the lyrics, the more I'm a bit concerned he wrote it about me. And that's not narcissism. He's told me a few of his songs are about me. You know, what are you going to do? But I can't confirm with him because he's on a digital detox. He was getting a bit narky with people, and he thought, dropping it on the head for a while. So I haven't been able to talk to him. Well, you know, there's things like that. Right, let me get the grift on because we've got 9 dislikes. So they're in many ways they're worth twice the money. So let me sort out entropy. The entropy link is in the description. As he's becoming a member, that's a good way of supporting the channel. Next month, lowest of the strata members going to get a 45-minute stream. It will probably be more than that, but at least 45. The next level up, which I think is adventurers, I'm not sure, is going to get an hour and a half. It will probably be longer. And then the third strata are going to get 2 hours. So lovely, lovely. Worth joining, few quid a month. Link in the description, or subscribe star. But the ones on the screen, super chats down there where the $ is, or entropy, which I'm just putting in the chat now. 9 dislikes. Hilarious, isn't it? It's hilarious. And look how much effort you've done. You were on YouTube clearly with nothing to do, or you wouldn't be browsing. They're not subscribed to me, and they went, "Oh, he's streaming, is he?" Click on it, dislike. Wow. Oh, that'll fuck him up. And it's anonymous. It's anonymous. So it's not like I know. It's like, there's 9 people that don't like the stream that hasn't happened yet. Oh, so they don't like me. Oh, terrible. Life changing. You're all right, Jess. 20 minutes is nothing at all. Damn, I forgot Moslab as well. I'm slowly getting back to learning. Sorry I didn't put a video out today, but I have got one lined up. I just had a hard day at work. I thought it was going to be a nice, quiet Friday. yeah. I've had a few sign-ups from the Substack, though, which is lovely. Absolutely wonderful. All right, let me just tell the Labrador. Hello, Mr. Verrill. Nice to see you, Chris. Absolutely lovely. Was talking to Sal earlier, actually. Chris is from my hometown, or you could say I'm from his hometown, but I think I'm the elder of the two. I mean elder as in older. I wouldn't ever pretend to be your elder, Chris. You can come to me for a ceremony. Ah, Mr. Verrill, come in. Praise me. Right, hang on. Moslab. Here we go. There you go. Bosh. Give him a bit of link action. I mean, he's currently got a family of about 13, and he's got this new bit of land. Well, he's bought an island, really. It's got a lake, and so we have got Rags in as a moderator, which he earned. I don't chuck out spanners. I know people ask me, but it gets out of hand. So it's Moslab and Rags, and that's it. And they do a great job. It's gone up to 10, has it? Well, if you're going to donate, make it this stream, eh? Right. This is going to be a relaxer. I've had quite the day. It's funny, actually, streaming this morning. Hello, Skin Scar. Where's that whistle? Hello, mate. Just been in your old local a couple of hours ago. Oh, rub it in. You know what? Barclay, I think he was on a date. Excuse me. I've got something all over my bins. And everywhere else, but when it comes to it, oh, lovely. Oh, hello. Hi. Welcome to YouTube. And he said to me, he asked me if I had any tips of anywhere good to go in Camden. I said, yeah, Soho. Jump on a tube and get out of grotty Camden. And I said to him, get down to Dean Street, Shaftesbury Avenue end, French House. You'll love it. I bet it was wonderful, wasn't it, Skin Scar? What did you have? Half a pint? They don't serve pints. The gentleman or drink a half. Oh, but good Lord. Good Lord. That's like 2 days away. And we got someone else as well. We got someone else picking up their suit in the next couple of days. So keep us posted, Skin Scar. Remember people when we done the gallery, the Scrubs gallery, and there was one of 4 youngsters, and they all looked like they had proper garms on. Nice bit of schmutter. And well, that was Skin Scar, and he's got himself a suit. Really? Oh my! Wow, that place has changed. I first started drinking in there, 28 years ago. You would not get a pint in there then. Not when Gavin was working behind the jump. Gavin done the old down to Devon as well. Him and his lovely wife went down to Devon. Things change. Nice one, Paul. Good to see you, son. Hello, Barney. Liam, Scory. Good. Nice. What's going on here? What is going on? Why is this playing up? Who knows? Who really cares? Hello, Ben. Woodland has popped in to say hi, and it like, can't stay, got shizzle to do. Oh, good Lord. There's some complaints about someone in PA. Okay. I having never attended a PA meeting, not been on their mailing list, and never done any activism for them, I still managed to turn up 12 times in the PA exposed telegram. I mean, if you're using me to expose PA, you might as well use your nan. The connection just is not there. Oh, someone who talked to Mark. These funny people. These funny people. Hello, Kevin. Abbey Wood Massive. Good Lord. I was making some notes earlier about that. I know, LOLC 350. I know you're not going to appreciate this, but I've started penning in my next novel. I'm already shilling number 2. Weirdly, though, I've been thinking about it for about a year. But with these new dreams I've been having recently, it was gonna be about women. It still is, but it's gonna be called men or something like that. It's gonna be a kind of an interesting thing. And I've got I mean, even though work got really heavy today, you know, really, it just got heavy and draining. But I still no hands, no worries about that. I turned off at a decent time. I've had an hour and a half since before the stream where I just I read a bit. I watched a bit of a movie. The first novel came out about 30 years ago. It ain't that good. It only took me a couple of hours to write. Well, a couple of weeks, but you know, it was essentially a vanity project. But it got some good reviews. It was in ID magazine, and the ICA give it a pretty good one. Hello, Aramas. Yeah, I'm good. That's what they call her. Good old Scabby Wood. But hello, Shane. Good to see you. Been a while. We nearly got 100 people in again. This is lovely. They're just off the cuff streams. Got to keep up the video making though. That's the thing. Hello, mate. Where does he live? Is it Laos? Is it Vietnam? Myanmar? Oh, now the punchline's gone because I've forgot. Hang on. It's don't tell me, Ozmeister. Begins with C, I think. Oh, Lord. Down in the southeast somewhere. Damn, you'll have to tell me. Well, you won't have to. But we have a joke hanging in the wind. Hello, 42. Thank you, Carter. Let them know. Ah, so you've been about. Not a problem. Oh, Carter, did I thank you for that? It would appear Carter has opened the grift. Lovely, lovely. We have got a community post I would like you to answer. I thought that worked quite well this morning. We got in it. Thank you, Carter. It's appreciated. Really is. It's lovely to see you back on the regular. On the regs. All right. Bloody hell. That's a bit strong, isn't it? Yeah, I thought it. I thought it was Crawley. Yeah, I did think it was Crawley, but I thought Crawley was southeast. You know. Sorry about that. But listen, get over there, answer the question, and we'll have a look at it a little bit later. I'm going to show you a video. Hoax 2019. Please, could you tell a story? Well, it's not that simple. I mean, occasionally this is a chill stream, so I have got some stories. Listen, if you want some stories, amazing. If you want some stories, well, let me see if any scrubs have got any ideas. What could this gentleman do if he wants some of my stories? I mean, I'm at a loss. Where could there be a load of stories, original stories of mine? Hoax 2019. Here is a link. Oh, no, that's a community link. Well, I'll pop that in again. You can answer that. Oh, Emma. Oh, Andrew. There you go. Substack. Here's some stories to keep you going, Mr. 2019. I don't want you going cold turkey. If you like reading, I've got about 8 or 9, probably 7 short stories written up there, and you just put your email in and you'll get 2 a month sent to you. But there's already 8 in the archive that you can just read. So if that might help. But you know, I'll probably stream an hour and a half tonight, maybe 2 hours. You know, Rags has joined. Okay, sweet, you're on it. The Geist. The weird thing is, I know that a lot of these, there's been a few new, I would just like to say an announcement. There's been a few new members who joined recently, because I looked tonight, that I've missed. So I haven't seen you join, or you joined when I was offline. So much appreciato. If I didn't have a chance to see him, obviously I couldn't see him. If I missed him, apologies, but that's cool. We'll have some good streams next month and some more videos, but don't worry, people, there'll be no burning out. I learned from it. But going back to your question, Hoax 2019, what will occasionally happen in a chill stream, I'll just gibber and I'll remind myself of something and start telling a story. Sometimes it can be 2 minutes, sometimes it can be 20. Doesn't always happen, you know. There's about 150 stories on my channel, and you know, that's quite a lot. Dub Power says, my 72-year-old colleague subscribed to your Substack. What do we do about royalties? Well, I'll tell you what, when I monetize it, I'll let you know. Won't be monetizing my Substack. Not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. They're always going to be free. Mrs. Me In It says that Mousecat was having potato bravos. not French potatoes, the nutter. He don't listen to me. Who can blame him? He probably does listen to you, but he's probably over the years developed a filter. All men know about the filter. You'll know when the filter, Mrs. Me in it, or is it? I think it should be Ms. Really. You're self-doxing, but Mrs. Me in it, and all the ladies in the chat, you'll know when your man has engaged the filter when he says, "Yeah, all right, yeah." There you go. Look, Andrew's already on it. Look, he knew it. There you go. Yeah. When they chat to you, you'll know it. But when it's even mouse cat, even that's the other half of Mrs. Me in it. Hilarious. Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, nice. And it's so good. It's so good when they catch you out. My missus does it. I'll go, oh, right, all right. And I'm looking at the computer doing something. I'll go, oh, no way. Okay. And then she'll stop me and go, what am I saying? What me talk about? And then, and this is also learned male behavior. You've got to be unspecifically correct. So then the filter, a well-made and well-formed filter, which gets better with age, to be honest with you, also maintains some keywords. It doesn't just let it all drip through. It holds some keywords. So when they suddenly are like, what am I talking about? Because, they're not stupid. Then you have to draw on your keywords. And it's, you just have to go back. Oh, come on, as if I weren't listening. I always listen to you. And then you're just like, right, she said market. I know that there's issues with the market. Issues. She might want to go to the market, but it's raining. She might want to go to the market, but she ain't got enough money. She might want to go to the market, but you need a COVID passport. She might blah, blah, blah. But the fact she mentioned it, issues, issues is a good one regarding the market. Or she might have said something about her family. And then it's the broadest stroke ever. You just have to make it convincing. So you just have to sort of go, look, I know what it's like. But families are families. And, this is part of life. Yeah. Just cruising through. Osmeister, you told us before. Oh, maybe you moved. Oh, I know where it is. Dorset. I know how men work and women know how to torture you. Yeah, well, that's the I know. I just realised that, but yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You've just remembered the keyword broad stroking. Hello, Charlie. You all right, mate? That is incredible. That is incredible. Just for an out of the blue one. But it doesn't help you when they question you. No, don't do that, Jess. Don't do that. No. The thing to do, if you're a woman in that situation, is understand that he doesn't want to talk at the moment. Women love talking about shit. They love it. They want to talk about it forever. But the thing is, men aren't interested in what women talk about. They see you on Telegram or something talking to your mate for hours. about things that you talk about with your mates, and you can see them circling like sharks, thinking he's been talking to him for 3 hours, 3 fucking hours. And then they start getting a bit closer to you, and then you go, anyway, mate, listen, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. All right, mate, take care, ta-da. And they sit next to you, and they sort of just say something, and you're like, what? You're still thinking about something your mate said. What you can see your girlfriend's mouth's moving, but you can hear your mate's voice in your head. And yeah, oh yeah, all right. And it's not. This doesn't mean you don't love someone. It means you do love them. But lovers aren't necessarily friends. I know that a lot of people like to say he's my lover and my best friend and all that, but I don't roll with that one. You know, I want my lover to be my lover, and it's a very different relationship to all of my others. You know, I don't want my girlfriend to blend into my general arena of friendships. You know, because we do other things. You know, and I actually think that a fair amount of distance between lovers is healthy. I mean that. I don't mean physical distance, but a fair amount of distance is quite healthy in a relationship. Just dropping that in there to ruin a few relationships. That's quite a good point, actually, Rob. Yeah. I mean, maybe when they're 20, but even then, you know, not really. They shouldn't be. That's not your role in their life. You can act like friends. You can go out with them, but they don't want you to. Oh no! All those old women who go out drinking with their daughters. I'm like, yeah, you know, maybe a celebration, a birthday party or something, but not on a Saturday night. That's awful. The old filters. I'll tell you what, actually, there's some absolutely cracking videos on YouTube from Stanford University. Let's have a look a little bit. Let me show you a little bit of one. You know, you don't have to get into 80 grand's worth of debt to get a Stanford uni level of education, and this geezer knows his stuff. I've been getting a lot out of his lectures. Actually, he done one on schizophrenia, which is essentially a linguistic disease, a linguistic problem, should I say. He's done one on depression. And it's all interesting because alongside Jeffrey Sharla, I've been really getting into attacking schizophrenia. I haven't been attacking schizophrenia. Psychiatry. However, hang on a minute. Obviously, I don't know what bit he's going to be talking about when I put it on, but he's Professor Robert Sapolsky, and he's a world-renowned lecturer. There's a lot to be learnt off him, and there's two videos. Each one is about 2 hours long. Hello, Zabo. How lovely! What a treat. Good to see you. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. It's a shocker. But he's done. So there's 4 hours of Stanford top of the league lecturers on human sexual behavior. And I tell you what, you start watching it. See you later, Jess. Take care, darling. It's happening. Hello, Ian. Good to see you, mate. You know what, people? Yeah, I'll have a few more if they're available. Yeah, there you go. You know the fella. You know Sal from Dartford. I've known her a long time, and I've told you a lot about her fella before, who's no longer with us. She wrote to me today and said she's been watching a lot of streams since the lockdown and that. And she said, I've got to say, the Scrubs are just lovely. She said, what a community that you've got there. Just lovely people. Lovely to hear people say that about us. Really lovely. Hello, Dan. Right, so I'm going to show you a little bit of human sexual behavior. Now, I'm hoping that the gods of luck are shining on me and we're going to be at a juicy bit, because some of it is fantastic in terms of, you know, when he gets onto the female orgasm. I mean, why? Why do they have it? Hello, Lawrence. Good to see you, son. There's a myth that when a female orgasms, her cervix opens and there's more chance of conception, but that's a lie. That there's no evidence to support that. Is that what? Gone back? Yeah, but he said he doesn't hold back. He says, you know, biologically, why do they have them? You know, men have them to motivate them to procreate, but they're biologically, there's no need for a woman. Yeah, she said that as well, Mouse Cat. She said she pops over Jimmy's as well. Nah, she's from the Happy Valley. She's born and bred. She's a Tech Roach, but there's no, I've watched it on video. Yeah, I bet you have. There's no proof that assists conception. That's just a myth. So, yeah, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. You know, if you think of it biologically. Anyway, let's see what he's talking about at this random moment I've picked him in. I hope I don't get a
argument.
Shut up. Hang on, Robert. So there's 4 hours of this one on human sexual behavior. I'll pop a link in. It's definitely worth. Oh, hang on. It's definitely worth a watch.
Facilitation process. Evidence for that has always been a little bit indirect. It is not airtight that happens. Another argument for why this increases fertility.
Hang on, it would appear the lords of luck are upon me. I think we're right on that bit. Hang on, let's just go back a little bit. Let's try again. Here we go.
Greatly increases that. So the argument there being that orgasm facilitates fertilization through the sperm facilitation process. Evidence for that has always been a little bit indirect. It is not airtight that happens.
He's literally talking about what I just said about the idea that the female orgasm facilitates fertilization, and he says it's not airtight. A little bit more.
Another argument for why this increases fertility, and this is sort of an interesting one. And the notion here is that what an orgasm does is, among other things, exhausts you enormously, causing you to be far more likely to be horizontal than vertical shortly thereafter, and thus facilitating fertilization because the sperm don't have to swim straight up against gravity. I kid you not. This is one of the leading models out there. Then there's the orgasm facilitates female conception out of reinforcement theory, which is back to the it feels good, and thus you are more likely to do it again and increasing the likelihood of passing on copies of your genes. All of this is wonderful. All of these possible mechanisms where even though female orgasm is not necessary for conception, it nonetheless increases the likelihood of. That's great. However, what most of the studies have shown, though, is there is no relationship between the fertility of a woman and her propensity towards orgasm. It does not seem to play out insofar as any of this facilitation or horizontal swim enhancement techniques or whatever actually occurs. These are not big enough of an effects to actually make a difference in terms of reproductive success.
Well, there you go. Just a little clip. And I tell you what, it's 4 hours of very interesting. You know, these people pay thousands to get into these top quality universities, and some clever bastard filmed and recorded the audio. There's human sexual behavior, the limbic system, human aggression, chaos and reductionism, emergence and complexity, language, depression, did I say that? Schizophrenia, all by this fella. And it's amazing. And look, I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's always right. But it's interesting. It's interesting to know what the current thinking is on these issues. You know, you learn more. You learn more. And if you don't agree with something, you follow it up. You think, well, I don't agree. And you have a reason why, and you go elsewhere and you follow it up. And that's how you learn. And watching stuff like that is actually more beneficial to you than sitting around. You know, sometimes you just sit there just watching things that have nothing to do with your life, just to almost medicate yourself. Because the other option is sitting there going, so you give yourself this blur of information that actually is nothing. You don't know it. I'll give you the link to that one, and you'll be able to, you know, look around and find others if you're interested. There you go. Well, exactly, Skin Scar. I'm all over it because, you know, when we got Jeffrey Sharler on talking about addiction being a choice, well, that was a book he wrote, but his main thing is psychiatry and mental health, and how you know, we often talk about big pharma and things like that. Mental health has been weaponized. It's been weaponized. I said this just a few weeks ago, get 40 kids with so-called ADHD, 40 kids with ADHD, and 1 kid without ADHD. Put them in a school. Who needs medical help now? Who's the odd one out? Because this is what mental health is about. Mental health is about you're not normal. You're not normal. And because they have power over you, and because in some instances they can take your child off you, your child might be causing problems at school. So the school contacts the parents, and the parents say, well, you're obviously not doing a very good job of teaching him, because he's fine at home. He's fine with his friends. He's fine in art class. He's fine in English. It's only maths. It's only the stuff that he finds difficult or boring that he's having trouble with. And they don't like that. So then they contact social services. And then the social services turn up at your door. And then that's on record. That's on record. That the schools went to them and the teachers said, that your kid needs help and you neglected to get the kid help. You neglected to let the state intervene and normalize your child via the use of drugs. Shocking. And then when they get your kid and make him put little plastic things in little things and wind him up and ask him these crappy broad stroke questions that are meant to be able to diagnose individuals using the psychiatry is such a broad stroke. I've said it before. The psychiatric manual of diseases, they had to make their own one up because medicine per se said, no, we're not buying your bullshit. So they made up the DSM, the Diagnostic and Something Manual of Psychiatric Disorders. They made it up. They made their own book up. And now psychiatry, it's being weaponized. And then and after your kid's been diagnosed with this, God knows what, the next one they're making up. I mean, don't think that all this non-binary lark, all this transgender 12-year-olds, all this puberty blockers, all that didn't happen. All that doesn't happen in society without the way mental health has been dealt with by psychiatry before it. It needed a foundation. And it's just terrifying. It's weaponized. And then if you then decide, no, I don't want to give my kids speed. I don't want my kid on amphetamines. I don't want my kid doing this. I don't want my kid doing that. Well, they might disagree with you. And then they might psych him off. They might, he goes out one night and puts a brick through a lorry window like I did when I was 11. Big Arctic lorry. These days, one of those windscreens is going to cost you what? $3,000, $4,000? I just was pissed off and I just got a house brick. I mean, hello, Moslab. Moslab on the firm. And then they can start saying things like he's got to go to a special school if he's not going to take the meds. It's weaponized. Making you normal. That's your brave new world. No, I absolutely agree with you. Now, look, I'm not talking about psychology. I'm not talking about psychoanalysis. I'm talking about psychiatry. It's a different discipline. Yes, it come out of that world. It comes out, psychology, psych, brain, ology, study of the brain. But psychiatry is a different thing altogether. And it's weaponized because you've got a power imbalance. You've got someone who's socially the psychiatrist or the doctor who's got a higher social status. And not only that, people trust them. They think they're going to help their kids. When actually that's not what they're interested in at all. And it's all experimentation anyway. They think, oh yeah, lovely. We can. Yeah, you don't need to do that here. As long as you mention your, as long as your point's delivered respectfully, no problem. Well, this is the thing. Why not? We live in the education system has been feminized. Girls like learning from books. Girls work better in that format. Boys work better doing things. Boys work better making things. Their curiosity is different. Men and women are different. Boys and girls are different. And yet the education system has become feminized. That's why boys go crazy at school. I used to despise it. I used to hate it. And when I say I used to go mad, I don't mean that as like just a phrase. It felt like I was going mad. Yeah, nearly all of ours were. And I just used to be going out of my mind. And then almost unconsciously, I'd cause problems to get chucked out. And when they chucked me out, some of my classes, I had a desk in the hallway. Get out. You're disturbing the class. And then when you've got a kid who needs attention, I've done all the work. I've done it. Just because everyone else I can't do it. I'd finished it. As she was writing the questions on the board, I was writing the answers in my book. And then she gives us 40 minutes to answer the questions. What am I meant to do for 40 minutes? Just sit there. 8 years old, full of energy, full of a lust for life, full of curiosity. Going out of my mind. You might have noticed a little bit of anger here. And so, I've got nothing to do. I'm getting no attention. And so their way of curing that is to make me sit on my own. So when you're sitting on your own in the corridor, what do? Wait till anyone walks past and throw your chair at them. It's just madness, There you go, Shell. I feel for you. And I feel for the kid as well. Really do. Whereas when I was in the art class, my art teachers loved me. They always used to get me to help out with things that needed doing. Like if there was a school play, I'd help me. They'd ask me to help them design the backdrops. They engaged me. And the English teachers were the same. We used to talk. We used to talk about writing and things, and at quite an advanced level. This is when I was a bit older, not when I was 7 or anything. But it's shocking. And kids' brains at that age, they're so waiting to be hardwired. They're setting up systems for the rest of their life, how they're going to respond to things for the rest of their life. That's like a nice. I think it's a lovely image. Think of your brain as a piece of marble or a bit of granite. And those early years is the world around you in all its complexities and all its beauty and wonder and all its darkness, like a chisel, forming it, making it what it is, making it your mind, making it who you are for the rest of your life. And when you feel like you're being tortured for 6 years, that's a very, very difficult brain to negotiate the rest of your life with. It is. Hello, Napa. Nice one. Lovely to see you. It's so saddening. So saddening. It did until he done his little bit on me. Yeah, exactly the same as that, Sam. I didn't need special treatment. I just needed to be taught. I just needed to be engaged. Bastards. There you go. That's the product of psychiatry. That's the product of psychiatry. Don't worry about what the problem is. Look, the National Health Service isn't about prevention, it's about cure. Why? There's more money in it. Because if it was about prevention, they'd be getting things done in advance. You would be going to the doctors like every 4 months. Get your bloods, get your livers, kidney, heart checked. Get it all checked out. Let's have a look. Got any issues? Oh, this is a bit high. This is a bit high. You might want to think about your diet. Are you exercising enough? You're drinking too much, blah, blah, blah. No, wait till you're sick, then go. And then they can say, no problem. Oh, hang on, I'll give you some of these. Oh, you're not sleeping either. Well, I'll give you some Xanax. I mean, don't overdo it. I mean, it's quite hard not to, and most people do in the end, and it's an absolutely brutal withdrawal that's going to make your life 100 times worse than it is now. But, you know, you'll get relief for a week, so I'll give you them too. That's another 500 quid in the back pocket. Well, stay on those for 6 months. I want to buy a new yacht. You know, I've seen doctors write me scripts with pharmaceutical companies sponsoring their pens. I went to Army Cadets. See, didn't have any problems there. You wouldn't have thought I had problems at all at Army Cadets. And it was discipline. I didn't have a problem with discipline. Didn't have a problem with authority. I had a problem with boredom. I don't know who makes the stuff. There's a few different brands, isn't there? There's Biceptone, there's a couple of them. But I know that your local pharmacist gets a tenner a shot. Every time he dishes one out, he gets a tenner. And I've been outside a chemist's at like 8:30 in the morning waiting for it to open with like 20 geezers. That's 200 quid as soon as he opens his door. Why not, says Dangerfield. Do you think depression is mostly genetics rather than environment? Well, look, I'm no expert on this, but do you mean, when you say genetics, do you mean inherited? Can you confirm that? Do you mean it's been inherited? I don't believe it's inherited genetically, but if you've got parents who express the symptoms of what we call depression, there's a good chance you will, because their way of living will be how you live, because you learn it from them. You know, I think depression is a product of bad decision making in life. I think depression arises when you're not getting what you need. You know, humans tend to know what they want, but they're a little bit slack on what they need. You know, we need things like love. We need things like intimacy. We need things like trust. And these things aren't taught to us. These things have been turned into cartoons by Hollywood. These are pop songs in our culture. You know, in strong communities, things like love and trust and intimacy have rituals and are the bedrock of the family and the extended family. But in our culture, they're pop songs. I need you. Without you, I'm nothing. You codependent bastard. Lil Bullet dropped a 5 spot. Thank you very much. Much appreciato. He says this: we had a music teacher that would make you stand in the bin if you misbehave and announce to the class that you were rubbish. Yeah, I'd have smashed it round his head and announced to the class that the police were coming. What a bastard. You know, I'm not opposed to teachers disciplining children, because some necessarily do get a little bit out of hand. But what? No, you wouldn't have got away with that from me. And I always knew that I had my parents backing, because they knew what a nonsense I'd had at school. When my mother came up to school once, an our headmaster, who was mental, by the way, I don't know if anyone's here who went to my secondary school. I know that Sal from Dartford did. He ended up killing someone in a hit and run. And when my mother went up there for our 3rd year big, thank you for that, by the way, Little Bullet. Donations well thin on the ground, so that is appreciated. You're all right, lurking Shane. It's lovely to see you. When we went up there, right, he mumbled nothing, and I looked at my mum while he was mumbling. He was going. I looked at her and I said, "He's mental. He's mental." How ironic that I'm calling him mental. And then he said to my mum, He said, I'd advise you, Mrs. Dangerfield, not to let Christopher out. Don't let him out of an evening. Until his grades improve, he shouldn't go out. And she said his grades are pretty good in the subjects he likes. I thought, go on, Mum. She said it quite nervously. You know, she's a bit, you know, she's got that trust in authority, but he was clearly bonkers. And I was getting good grades in English literature, art. But I got chucked out of maths class. I couldn't get higher than a C. Why did I get chucked out of maths? My teacher said a clash of personalities. What? I'm 12. Just because you don't like me, yeah, they put me into a lower set. I was in the top set for everything because it was streamed our school 1 to 15. And I was in 1 for everything. Clash of personalities. So I could only get a D or something for English. I'll tell you what, in our English exam, it said, write a story, less than 500 words, about loneliness. And I rewrote the lyrics to Simon and Garfunkel's Homeward Bound. I was like, so you've got lyrics like, let me think. And emptiness and shades of mediocrity, and every stranger's face I see reminds me that I want to be homeward bound. I wish I was. So I didn't write that. I certainly didn't sing it, but I just sort of reworded it. And as my eyes meet the eyes of strangers, I'm taken back to the truth that I'd rather be back home where my heart is. And I remember thinking, I hope the examiner isn't a fan of Simon and Garfunkel. Keena says this. I was always in trouble at school, not knowing I had dyslexia. Oh, that must have been lovely. And that I didn't have dyslexia, but I had the opposite, really. I was just getting the work done super quick. But the upshot's the same. You're going out of your mind with boredom. You can't do it. So what do? Nothing. Not knowing I had dyslexia until later in life and being hyperactive. They couldn't handle me, but I didn't turn out that bad. Drove me mum mad. Yeah, but I'd question if I don't believe in hyperactivity. Just active. You're just active. Treated correctly, funneled correctly. You said it yourself. Didn't turn out that bad. Are you still hyperactive? Or did you, like you said yourself, your answers in your, I know it's not a question, but your answers in your own comment didn't turn out that bad, because once you got out of the loony bin, i.e. school, you managed to find a way to engage with something and make that natural curiosity, natural energy to live your life work. I mean, at our school, we had like 35 kids in a class. One textbook between 3. You can't read that if it's in the middle. You're all like, so you just don't bother. You haven't. It's not like you're a Bionic Man. So you don't read it. And then when the teacher says, why don't you know it? And I go, well, I can't read. I didn't read it. Why didn't you read it? Can't see the book. Why didn't you move the book closer to you? Well, because then he wouldn't have been able to see it. Stop answering back. What? The most bizarre thing teachers ever said is stop answering back. There's a simple way to get me to stop answering back. Stop asking me questions. Even as like a 7-year-old, I knew that made no sense. Why are you late? Well, because it's pissing down with rain. And I had to get a lift into school so I wasn't soaking wet, which meant waiting a little while for my dad. Don't answer back. Yeah, but you just asked me a question. Get out. What? And that was like every class. Absurd. Burn down the schools. Don't do that. That was just me quoting a song. Please don't do that. What did you make of it, Johnny? Quite a nice little show this morning. Yeah, for sure it could. Yep. Absolutely. You mean in your DNA? No. It's a behavior. It's not a disease. It's a behavior. You express depression. Now, there might be chemical changes in your brain, but it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing. You know, there might be dopamine issues, but why are there dopamine issues? Because you're not giving yourself what you need. You're not filling your life with goodness. You know, most of the people I know who've been depressed or had clinical depression, you've only got to scrape under the surface. Find out how they've been living for a couple of years leading up to the depression. It's rarely positive. You know, that doesn't mean they haven't been successful, but then I've been snorting coke it's only once or twice a week. Whenever anyone tells you how many drugs they've been taking, double it. At least double it. And then when they're not snorting coke, they're drinking in between that. And then when they're not drinking, they're popping a couple of Vals. Now, that's not always the case. There might be another one where, well, I haven't really been socializing that much, just my real friends. Well, when you say not that much, how much? And then they sort of go, well, I haven't been out with any mates for about a year. We're social creatures. You know, it doesn't take long to find out where these things come from. Shane Ross Jury says it's 12:25 here. PM, I imagine maybe meant. Work the graveyard trying to catch these to the sounds of Dangerfield. All right, I'll lullaby you to sleep. Ready? I used to play my yellow banjo, but now it has no stillings. I can't remember the rest. You'll have to stay awake. Are some people genetically prone to depression? I'm getting the feeling that you've got some experience of depression, either yourself, a parent, a child, or a lover, and you're looking for answers that I can't give you. No, the answer's no, though. I don't think so. No, I don't believe in that. You know, I haven't met a single person out here in 4 years with depression. And I've met a lot of people. You know, it's a cultural thing. It's a behavioral thing. And you get told you've got it. And then they give you fucking SSRIs. Don't worry that you're not nurturing yourself. Don't worry that you're not nurturing yourself with meaningful relationships. Don't worry that you're not nurturing yourself with intimacy. And don't worry that you're not socializing and your life has become isolated. Don't worry about all those things that are going to send you crackers in the end. Because I can just hit the fucking Prozac, and it will basically bathe your receptors in serotonin. You'll feel great all the time, like a really weird person. And everyone you used to know will be like, phew. And the upshot of that is they'll pull away from you. And also, you won't be able to make meaningful relationships because there's 2 tons of serotonin between you and other people. You won't be able to do the things you need to do to get out of the depression. And then a year later, well, I've made a good few £1,000 out of your Prozac script, and as much as I don't want to stop it, I don't want to get struck off. So, we're going to have to start reducing it now. Yeah. Wait till you see how you feel when you're off it. If you thought that depression was bad beforehand, because then not only have you got depression, not only are you depressed, but you're biologically incapable of being happy because you've rinsed your serotonin dry. And when you tell the doctor that, they'll say, yeah, that's normal, but don't worry, 6 to 8 months. If you can just white knuckle it for 6 to 8 months, you'll be fine. 6 to 8 months. So long when you're in pain, when you're in emotional pain. Good Lord. Hello, Shagrat. Lovely to see you. There you go. That's exactly what I said, Dub Powder. Exactly what I said. Dub Powder, I said then. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Their failure is taken out on you. I was caned at school. Caned. Hit with a cane. Child. I mean, my father never hit me, but my mother did, and that was all right. She didn't hit me to hurt me. She hit me. She didn't smack me round the face. She used to whip me around the back of the legs with her hand and leave a red handprint there. And that was her way of saying, no, you've reached a limit now. And then she'd say that after the slap round the legs, but I used to dodge it. She'd have hold of this hand, and I'd be like super flexible, missing her, trying to get my legs, and she'd end up laughing, and then I'd end up laughing, and I'd get away with it. I think that's why I ended up getting into comedy. I realised you can get yourself out of some quite tricky situations. Give me a 1 in the chat if you know this one. Give me a 1 in the chat if you know this one. From your mother, right? You wait till your father gets home. And that's darkness. Like I say, my old man never hit me. But it was my old man. And if he came home from work and my mum had something to tell him about my behaviour, just the look on his face, he didn't have to do anything. He'd just look at me. Wasn't proud. Wasn't happy. Look at all those ones. Amazing. You wait till your father gets in. But she left that was after the slap on the legs. But that's fair enough. They're my parents. They live with me. I trusted them, and they wanted what was right for me. But for a teacher to cane my ass without consulting my parents, this was in primary school. 6 years old. Ruler on the knuckles. We had that as well. You sadistic bastards. I'll tell you what. If any teacher done that, if I have kids, which I am planning to, and any teacher hit my kids, I would arrange swift and brutal revenge. Yeah, it wouldn't be nice. Yeah, absolutely. It was, it's big problems then. Yeah, because I don't know what it's like for girls, but for a boy, I was always wanting to impress my father. Always. Just wanted him to think I was good. So when my mother said, he's been a right pain in the ass today, I'd be like, ah. And they'd just look at me and shake his head. And that would do me. It would do me. And it would make me consider my actions. It would make me consider. And, you know, over time, you start realize. What, by a teacher? I mean, I got slapped to the ground by one once, and I got one threatened to kill me. He literally said, I'll forget my family, I'll forget my job, and I'll effing kill you. Nice. Look at that. Free mind. Bring back the cane. You're into hurting children, are you, to teach them? Interesting outlook. That's it. That's the one. Awful. Absolutely awful. Yeah, had a bit of that in my school as well. I remember, I think I've told the story before. There was a bloke at my school. I won't dox him because he's still out there and still alive. And he turned into a bit of a nutter, to be honest with you. And this one teacher, he was an arsehole. He just used to take the piss out of you. He'd just take the piss out of your name in front of the whole class and just keep going at it. And he was going at this bloke. And then it just happened so quickly. The geezer's picked up a pen and just jabbed it through the side of his face. Just went, goo. And then just walked home. I don't think he ever came back to school. Teachers on the floor going, get a nurse, get a nurse. And we were all standing there thinking, oh, yeah, we're going to help you, yeah. 4 years of you being an absolute arsehole. Now you need us to help you. Now you can bleed to death, son. No, there was a couple of incidences like that. I remember there was this one female teacher and she was just evil. Really evil. She'd prod you right there. And this one dear little kid, he was like a little frail thing. And he hadn't done anything. Someone else said he had. And she was jabbing him, going, you mess around in my class. And he was holding his desk. And when she turned around, he just slammed it into the back of her legs and she went flying. And the whole class, I'd like to say we all went, hey! But it was so brutal. It was, in a way, it was worse than the pen through the face because, you know, you could tell that he was just building up and building up. The bloke with the pen was an hard case. So it's hard to explain, but I think you get me. But this little frail kid, he just broke. And he waited for her to finish. And when she turned round, I remember seeing him. I was sitting 2 desks down. He just held the desk and he just went smash. She just went bang. And when she got up, all her hair was over her face. She's gone bright red. She was all shaking. And I thought, not so hard now. She didn't turn on him either. She didn't turn around and go, yeah. She left the room. And we're all sitting in there going, amazing, well done. And he was just sort of going, you know, realizing that he'd done something wrong. 20, 30 minutes passed, cover teacher comes in. I don't know whatever happened about that. I think they probably said to her, what did you do? And once she had to admit, and a class full of 30 kids aren't going to lie for her, once she said, I jabbed him in that really painful bit of your chest there 20 times for nothing. They probably said to her, well, we're just going to have to brush this one under the carpet. Maybe you should go to the hospital and get your spine checked out. What I like about these sorts of things, it was like about that. It's like that kid. That Moslab took some planning. You thought, right, I'm doing this. got the clay, formed it into a sizable ball. I don't know how big a softball is. I think they're a little bit bigger than cricket balls, aren't they? Maybe like that, like a large orange, is it? Imagine little Moslab going. Teacher turns round. You don't know who done it. Who done that? No one says a word. Sorry, sir, we all ate you. So crack on. When I was in secondary school, in the first year, they wanted us using fountain pens. You weren't allowed to have big biros at school. They wanted fountain pens, right? And when the teachers would have you doing like a written bit of work, so you're all sitting there writing, you know, no one could afford a decent fountain pen. No one had a Mont Blanc, right? Hello, Will. No one had a Mont Blanc. You're just scratching around with a like a $1.99 fountain pen from WH Smith's or something, and it's running everywhere. All your fingertips are blue. Teacher turns round to walk back up the class. Everyone is just going, whipping their pens, the back of his shirt covered in like blue dot lines. Everyone would do it. Every class. That's it, mouse cat. Yeah, cheap with those little, you know, those little cartridges you used to put in them. Hello, Sezu. Yeah. There was those beautiful moments of revenge. You know, we've talked about some tonight. You know, what different people done. Amazing. Because that actually does kids good. That actually does kids good when no, I agree, kids need discipline. I agree, but there's damaging ways of doing it, and there's ways of doing it that make you better people. And you don't want to be damaging children. It's just unfair. It's unfair and it's bullying. And I can't stand bullies. Can't stand them. But those little moments of revenge, like Moslab's thing at the back, the pen through the cheek, the desk in the back of the legs, in a way, they turned out that in a way, they had, you probably learned more from them than you did a lot of classes, because you suddenly realize that although the authority figure is physically stronger, although the authority figure can get you in trouble, if you work as a group, if you work as a community, and if you're clever about it, you can show power. And, you know, the feeling, you know, you can all imagine. I imagine at some point, most of you saw a teacher get it. Like Moslab's clay, like the pen, like the desk, something. And that is exactly that, Pax Max. A cathartic moment where you think, I get it, good. And the emotion that when emotion is coupled with an incident, that they're the ones that's real learning. You know, when you've got an emotional attachment to something that happened in the real world. Little Bullet, thank you. You are single-handedly holding this grift together. Thank you very much, Mr. Bullet. You're very generous. And he's quoted as well. And liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse. Shakespeare. That's where we are now. because lefties got away with anything. And liberty plucks justice by the nose. The baby beats the nurse. Shocking, really. Nice one, Bullet. It's appreciated. What other thing have we got here? Jeff. Hello, Jeff. I haven't seen you for a while. Not saying you haven't been here, just haven't seen your name. Actually, the kid who smacked the teacher had his prints and DNA taken. They ended up catching his dad for an unrelated murder. Oh, what a string of bad things to happen. It took a kid's DNA. Surely that's illegal. Come, schools have fingerprinting rooms. Good Lord. Yeah, we had plenty of them. We had plenty. We used to have sixth form girls sitting on teachers' laps at lunchtime. I've told the little story before. I remember there was a girl called Susan Clark, very nice on the eye. And I went up to her and I said, Susan, would you like to go out with me? You know, I was only about 14, 15. And she went, no, I'm seeing someone. And turned round to look at the metalwork teacher, who winked at me as if to say, unlucky little boy. And I remember thinking, yeah, that doesn't seem right. It was amazing though, the fact that I'd just been done out by a teacher kind of took away from the fact that she'd blown me out. It was obviously so wrong. Everyone knew it was going on. All the other, it wasn't hidden. There'd be girls sitting on his lap. 15 and 16-year-old girls. Oh, this is all very healthy. Hans, it's a fair point, Hans. It's a fair point. He says it's much harder for a class if there are one or more bullies than a teacher. Kids can be far more cruel. We had one and he killed himself at 22. What, you had a student who killed himself or a teacher that killed himself? Damn that Susan Clark. We had a sports teacher called Eric Shons. Come on. Let me Google it, see if anyone still has that name. That's hilarious. Eric Shons. Oh, yeah. There's a few. There's a couple. Oh, my God. There's a couple of Facebook accounts. One of them's German, though, so he probably doesn't understand it. Tritt Facebook bei dich mit Erik schon and andere nutzen, die du kennst. I hope I haven't just read out some filth that's going to get me banned. No, I believe you. It's just too good. We had a PE teacher, you know, when you shower together, all the boys, and he'd come in and he's gone one year after the summer holidays. He went, it's good to see you've all developed over the summer holidays. Oh, good. That's nice. Very kind of you, Adele. Adele, have you been a lurker for a while or something? I know I've done, because I took a few months off. I feel like there's people coming out of the blue. I mean, I've seen you over the last few streams, obviously. Thank you very much for the donation. Appreciated. Well, I just thought it'd be a chill stream, and you know, this is what happens. It's just where it goes. I didn't have anything prepared. Things come up in the chat, and you know, I run with it. Oi, hello, mate. He says Dangerfield. Well, hello, stranger. And strange scrubs. Yeah, there's new people here. I think some of the lurkers have come to the surface, but we've been gaming the community tab. No worries, Adele. A pleasure to see you. I worked with a Michael Jackson. Shamon. Yeah, you can kind of imagine that, actually. You can kind of... We had one, her name was Mrs. Marden. And, of course, she was the only RE teacher in the school because it was kind of being phased out. You know, something relevant and potentially interesting, like religious education. It was like, no, we don't need that. But we called her the Virgin Marden. The Virgin Marden. I've told the story before, but like I say, I entered puberty at like 15. I was proper young kid in playing rugby with blokes with beards. And it was like, oh no, not this again. And very, you know, obviously the kids that enter puberty earlier, they were getting busy having sex when they were like 12. Which I understand because they were bearded and like some of them drove cars to school. 13, the pikey kids. And I've told the story before, but there was this geezer called Brett, and he was seeing this girl called Debbie. And at our school, the blackboards were on rollers, so you'd pull it down to get a clean one. So the teachers come in for a class. Okay, quieten down, everyone. Quieten down, everyone. And there's a load of stuff on the board from the previous lesson. So rather than rub it all out, he's just pulled the board down. And in massive letters, someone had written across it, Brett does Debbie up the dirt box. And of course, he's pulled it down and it just runs on its own. And he's turned round to carry on with the class. And we're all just looking at it, just cracking up. But I'll tell you what, it stuck with me, that did. I remember like walking home thinking, you know, it took me all day to find out what a dirt box was. And you can't just ask. You're not allowed to as a kid. You know, you can't go up to one of the hard kids who's doing people up the dirt box and go, what's a dirt box? So you've just got to sort of, you know, talk about it as if you know what it is and sort of try and work it out. And I finally worked it out. And the thought of it, you know, I remember thinking, that don't sound too good. The old in through the outdoor and all that. But I remember walking home and thinking, you know, there's me playing my ZX Spectrum while kids I sit in class with are putting their willies in girls' bumholes. And it made me feel a little bit weird. I wasn't quite sure whether, you know, who was right or who was wrong. Who, you know, and then it was like, I wonder how you actually get around to doing that. You know, I didn't really know although I'd seen plenty of pornographic magazines. You can go to my Substack and read a story about the porno mags in a carrier bag found in the woods. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. But I hadn't really got my head round the sort of anatomy of the female genitalia at that age, thankfully. And I just remember thinking, where it just looks like one long slot. I remember thinking, this is going to be difficult, man. How'd you get round to that? You know, I remember just sitting next to a girl for 5 hours on a bench in a park, and at the end of it going, will I see you tomorrow? And her going, yeah, we could meet in the park again, play games. I go, all right then. See ya. And sort of just walk home and thinking, I hope that was all right. Meanwhile, Brett's doing Debbie up the dirt box. It felt like a lifetime away. They absolutely did. And with it, a beautiful moment. I'll put a link to that actual story, people. I wrote a story on my Substack, that carrier bag of porn mags in the woods. One in the chat if you found a carrier bag of porn mags in your local woods at least once. One in the chat if you found a carrier bag of porn mags in your local woods at least once. So there you go. Well, look, here's the there's the link to my story about it. If you want to read my Substack about the old carrier bag. There was a while when I thought there was only one carrier bag, and it sort of slowly moved around the country. And of course, the hilarious thing. Hello, Top Cat. Nice to see you, man. And there was always the weird one where the geezer who goes back to get them when you've all gone home, or the bloke who wants to take one home. I was one. I wanted to take one home. I fell in love with the girl on the cover, and I'm in love. And I remember thinking, I haven't got the balls. I haven't got the balls to just go, I'm taking this one home, because I thought it might make me look a bit weird, even though the four of us had been sitting there for 5 hours just in silence, just yeah, it was all those nasty old 70s ones. Hustler, Escort, Readers' Wives. Here's Jemima. Whoa. Why is it in black and white? Oh, for sure. And it actually had actual snail trails on it. You know, it had been sitting in the bushes for God knows how long. No, there was no men only in those days. There was no Club International. By that time, it was all airbrushed and shaven. No, I'm talking birds' nests galore and just not the nicest ladies. I don't mean that in a bad way, but yes, it was growlers and gunts. Yeah. Just some bloke who, you know, in those days it wasn't considered cool. You know, there was an MTV series of. There's that, what was it, Porn in the Family or something. Hey, we got the biggest porn on the West Coast. In those days, it was all hush hush. Developed no digital photography. It was all processed in a basement somewhere when the missus was out. I can remember in good call, Mark. I can remember in the sort of late 70s and 80s, like blokes around our area suddenly getting into photography. Yeah, I bet you were. Never remember seeing any photos of no landscapes or portraits. Just a seedy little room at the bottom of the house with photographs of the old woman pegged up, ready to send off to Nave. Try and get you 30 quid. We give £30 for every photo published. Max dying. Oh, we've cheered it up a bit here, haven't we? And also, all the amateur photography magazines, rarely did they have a portrait or a landscape or a still life on the cover. Amateur photographer, 20-year-old bird in a swimsuit, hair too big to fit on the page, clivage. Your old man would bring one home, put it on the sofa. My mum was sort of like eyeing it up, and I'm thinking, fucking brilliant. I'll be having a look at that later. My dad just reading it later, disappointingly flicking through it, realizing there's nothing much. There's no article about that bird on the cover. Once you get inside, it's all about fixers and developing fluids. Sam says, I found a reader's wives and started looking differently at married couples. I remember thinking, are they all at this? I think in the 70s they were. Yeah, good Lord. It'd get so bad that your favourite bit would end up going because you'd forwarded it and rewound it so many times. What, amateur photographer? Read. I had Melinda Messenger serving me beer at TFI Fridays, didn't I? I told you that. Oh, I had a thing for Lindsay Drew. Good Lord. I love you, Lindsay. Oh, they're proper gross. They're half-size mags, aren't they? Black and white. Oy, oy, oy. I remember we found one carrier bag of magazines, and I think this bloke put his whole head up someone. It might have just been the bad photography, but we were cutting through this field and they didn't like you cutting through it to get to the swimming pool. So you really had to go some, or they'd come and get you and grab you by the scruff of your neck and call the police and all that lot. I think they were allotments, so they didn't want you smashing all their vegetables up, understandably. And we didn't go through kicking cabbages. We sort of skirted round it. But it was either walk all the way round 20 minutes or 2 minutes through the allotment. And I found the traditional bag of porn mags. And the first one I opened up, it was black and white. And this geezer's head just started disappearing in between her legs. And I remember thinking, what the hell is going on? I just put them back down. Rodox, good Lord. You're going back a while there. Me and my mate had a little band. Well, it wasn't a band. We used to make, he bought a little quantizer. This is going back years. Little Roland sort of sampler quantizer thing. You couldn't program it. You put different samples on each button, and then you just put it out into a 4-track, and you had to set them off manually, which isn't very good for drums. I think you could program it, but we never worked out how. So you'd have a drum beat, and you'd be going, and then I'd be on another one, and you'd drop in the other sample, and we called ourselves the Rodoxers because we were sampling Rodox porn. So I remember we had this one, and it was going, and then it stopped, and there was like a little bit of background noise, and this bloke, he went, "You are a perfect cunt, my darling, a perfect cunt." Rodoxers, eh? Flash pants? Don't know, never heard of that. I nearly just said I've never come across it, but it would have been inappropriate. Yeah, for sure. There was no turning back after that. Once I knew where it was, as soon as the house was empty, Grab a loo roll from the toilet, up the loft. Yeah, pretty much. The amen break. Or we slowed down drum and bass, which is very postmodern, because drum and bass is essentially the amen break sped up, and then we just sampled drum and bass and slowed it down. So, yeah. See you later, Sezu. I'll see if I can find that little bit of kit. I'll show you it. Right, it was made by Roland. It was in the 80s. Let's see if I can find it. Very funny little thing. Someone just told me that my Juno 6 I sold for 120 quid, worth about $3,000 now. Good Lord. No, these are all looking far too advanced. Oh, there's a Juno 6. It's breaking me heart. Now, this was a little box with about 6 buttons on it. Oh, that might have been it. That was it. I've got it. I found it. I know the kid who's got it. I wonder if he's still got it. I could have that here as my soundboard. Yeah, I'll show you. Wow. That is exactly what he had. They're 100 quid now. Maybe he'll sell it to me for 30. Here, this was it. It was this exact thing. How strange. Johnny's got an OP1. This is an MS1. I'll show you. There you go. That was it. And you see those 8 buttons? That's how you triggered your samples. But at the time, you know, smoking bucket bongs and the likes, it was quite a laugh. I do remember John Holmes' rags. I think he died in the end, didn't he? I think John Holmes had quite a bad life. I just sold a Juno 6 for 800. Well, I was told $3,000, so that makes me feel a bit better. I love my Juno. It does, yeah. Take it from me, Mouse Cat. It looks about as good as the music that we made with it. But at the time, it was, yeah, exactly that. It was quite good fun, easy to use, you know. Did he really, Liam? 12 inches of John Holmes. Well, you know, probably not surprising if you're doing that kind of work in the 80s. I imagine they have. No one wants to. No one wants to. You know, have your music associated with that. He's still alive, isn't he? He's in prison, isn't he? Or did he die? Moslab reckons that John Holmes died with it in someone else's end. Did anyone here? Nice one, Jimmy. Nice one, mate. Happy, yeah, it is a happy Friday as well. It really is. I've got the whole weekend off to work on my novel, and I'm absolutely chuffed. Did anyone here have an 808 drum machine? No lying. Yeah, there you go. That'll be it. Popular in your house, Bullet. Yeah. Fantastic machine. I remember when it come out, a mate of ours had it. And compared to the Mr. Drums, it wasn't called Mr. Drums. It was called Dr. Rhythm. But when I first heard that 808, I remember thinking, that's changed everything. And it did. It did. I wasn't even into that music, but As soon as I heard it, I was like, whoa. No way Ralph had one. Yeah, it was a cool bit of kit. Was it 808 state? No, it wasn't. It was alternate. Let's find alternate with their masks on. You know, the old COVID masks, but full of Vicks inhalant. Let's see if we can find a bit of them on the tubes. That would be quite funny. Anyone who didn't know about this will think, what the hell is going on? I think they were called alternate. If I can find that video, we'll have a proper laugh. Coming up to the camera and like making boxes with their mask on. Do you remember going out to raves and that, and people would go, "You want some Vicks?" You'll be like, "What?" And they'd get a big lub of Vicks out the pot, rub it in their hands, and just go, "Inhale," and you'll go, and suddenly your ecstasy that you hadn't had, I'll be like, "I ain't got a cold, mate." Go. Right, alternate. I just want to see if I can find that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That might be it. Let me just see if that's it. Nah, it's just a damn still. Oh, God. Hang on. Hey, here we go. Hang on. Right, he's behind his bits. But you'll see, look at this. I mean, can someone date alternate for me? Because I can't remember. I'd say about 88, 89. That'd be a guess. But check this out. Check him out with his mask on. Pre-COVID. Hang on. Let me get it to the bit. We won't see it. Hang on. You're going to see a little flash of it. With the masks on. We absolutely. I hated it. It wasn't my scene at all, and I don't mean this. I only ever went raving to sell pills. I hated ecstasy. Out of all the drugs I ever done, salvia, ecstasy. No thanks. You can keep them. You can absolutely keep them. Oh yeah, and Datura. You can poke that as well. Datura, salvia, ecstasy, gross. Not for me. Look at loads of people getting right into it. Making boxes, yeah, without a doubt. I hated them all. I hated all of them. It was awful. People used to fight on football terraces until ecstasy came about. Hello, Emma. Mousecat saw him live. I see Orbital live by accident. That wasn't memorable. Well, people started to work out that Sunday morning after a weekend on the pills was a little bit difficult. And then someone went, "This will help you out. If you want to stop gurning." Yeah, there was a lot of casualties out of that era. Eat Static, Osric Tentacles spin-off band. Yeah, I never done meth until I had that terrible time in Patong, but salvia we've done loads of, but it's horrible. It's so horrible. Ugh. Am I wet? Am I dry? I feel really damp. You know, that's salvia, and everything's just on a conveyor belt, and it's like, oh no, stop it. Stop it. The amount of times I had to say to my mates, listen, you'll be all right in 15 minutes. I'll tell you what, I'll play a little treat for the old boys and girls among us. Not too much of it though, because I'll get they might. I never dance. I'll dance with a lady. Me and my girlfriend danced on her birthday on one of the highest buildings in Phnom Penh. There's a bar there, and I'll have a romantic dance because I'm a romantic. But you won't catch me dancing. What? Nah, I am neither French or homosexual. You just won't catch me at it. But I'm going to play a little bit now that's going to raise a few smiles. Hang on. And for all the youngsters, have a good laugh at us lot, because when this song came out, it was this next tune started, well, it didn't start, but it made mainstream a whole new genre, and it's very strange. But I want to somehow get to the chorus without letting you know what it is. So hang on. I forgot that it essentially starts with the chorus. Right. Anyone 35 and over is going to go, oh, mate. Anyone younger is going to go, oh, you lot. All right. A couple of people are going to go, yes. Right. Here we go. I can't play too much of it, but you'll get enough. For the people who know, you'll get enough. Anyone got a guess at what I'm going to play? Now we're talking about 85 here, 86. That ain't a bad guess, but it's a bit earlier than that. It never goes away, does it? Hello, John. How's that whistle coming on? Right, here we go. I will hold you no longer. No one's got it. I might give you a couple more seconds. Right, here we go. Watch out. D-Mob, we call it acid. My Lord. Did you check the video? I'll do a bit more because I've interrupted. Hello, Packer. Nice to see you. There's an hilarious bit in the lyric where he goes, if you thought it was a drug, now you know you're wrong. No, we were all tripping our nuts off. Flicks in Dartford. Acid, music for the headstrong. I can't play any more of that. Right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drop another one. Just gay. I'm going to drop another one that is, in many ways, the defining tune of an era. And I must admit, all what I've said about I hated raving, I hated acid house and all that. Did you ever go there, John? Do you remember it? Flicks became Zen later. Yes, Adele, it is ridiculous. The emojis are dancing. They certainly were in 1986. Right. This one. Oh, it slipped my mind. Oh, here we go. This one. Even though I hated the whole scene, it was just work for me. It was just business. This is this song does actually do a little bit of something for me. I have to admit that. I don't want to, but it was played so much. Here we go. Again, I can't play too much. Don't worry, you're getting some more. Yes, Sam, Voodoo Ray. It is a classic. Yeah, I'll get look at the old boys in the chat. Tune. Yeah, you'll get a bit more. Don't worry. I've just got to make it look like I'm, criticizing it. Hello, John. Look at Glass as well. Here we go. Don't worry, I won't starve you anymore. We'll have a bit more. Oi, Voodoo Ray. Good Lord, right. Last one that I'm going to play here. This, again, and I'm trying to play tracks that pub made these things mainstream, because these were going on in basements all around the world. Well, America and England, much the same thing. For quite a while before they were main. But these Voodoo Ray, D-Mobs, we call it acid. They made them mainstream. They're the ones that your mate at school would go, "Do you like Voodoo Ray?" And I'll be like, "What? You've never been to a nightclub in your life." Right. This is weird because this is a song that you'll all know, but it's a certain mix of it. And that's weird. The mix is known more than the song. Let's see if I can find it. Right. Now, I'm going to give this one. This one's a bit of just DJ, not LSDJ. It nearly ruined it. You heard the first beat. First one to call it. 10 points. How do I play you the audio without showing you the video? I'm going to go through the microphone, so it'll be all right. You'll be able to hear it. Right, you ready? But the thing about it is, I have to stop it or I'll get done. But blah 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 blah. Talking about that tune, can't believe no one's called it yet. Once the vocal comes in, you'll know exactly who it is. It's an unmistakable voice. Yes, Sam. It's just incredible. It's a Vince Clarke from Erasure's remix of Wrote for Luck, of course, because the original Wrote for Luck's more almost like a rock song. I know it ain't. But, you know, I can just remember everyone just there, including me. And I'll tell you what misses me in it. I will tell you that I did dance, because it's very hard not to dance when Ryder's going, just off his nut. Yes, Sam, this is the Vince Clarke version. Let's hear a bit of Ryder off his head. I don't read, I just guess. Right, last one of the nostalgia. I have got this. I know what I'm doing after this stream. Right. Now, this, when I went to Glastonbury in 1988, maybe, you could not walk more than 10 meters without someone playing this. So 1988, I think, you couldn't walk more than 10 meters without hearing this. What do you reckon it was? This is going to make you smile. What is it? Come on. I reckon there's going to be about 30 people knowing what that is from just that intro. It was everywhere. There you go. There you go. Look at them, all of them, all the old lads. Amazing. And Seal's vocals, what a voice Seal's got. What a just incredible. And what a tune. Let's get Seal's voice in. It's just amazing. So you want to be free, live your life. Oh, I'm getting all chills up the back of my spine. Give me a 1 in the chat if you want more of this music memory lane, or whether you want to go back to chatting. Someone's just put something in the chat I was about to do next. 1 if you want music memory, a bit more music memory lane. I mean, I've done 2 hours. No one's grifting me. Shocking. All right, few more ones there. Right, okay. I just want the original version, otherwise it goes on too long. Right, here we go. All right, you ready? Prepare your nostalgia buds.
Fun, baby.
What an opening! What an opening! Bass. Nice one, Willow. Cheers, Emma. Amazing. Good Lord, good Lord. Thank you, Willow, and thank you, Emma. That's very kind of you. I think that, thank you, Packer. That was a very strange mix. It wasn't the one I was after, so apologies. Right, hang on. This one's gonna blow your mind. Aramas, no one ever has to apologize for not donating. Ever, ever, ever. I appreciate the sentiment of your comment, but no. As long as I get a few quid, I'm all right. Right, sit down for this one. Because if you were ever young, this is going to blow your minds. I know it. I know that we're doing a certain type of music. Don't forget, people, I am more into my rock music, but I do know this lot because I was working, so I know the tunes. And when hello, Mrs. Me in it, that's bloody lovely of you. And I say thank you for the music and giving it to me, Mrs. Me in it. Thank you, love. That's very kind. Right, here we go. This is probably my favorite out of all the ones I've played. First one to name it gets 10 points. Oh, hang on. I don't need some weird video opening. Oh, hang on. Let me mute you. This is some weird. Brace yourselves. Hang on. What's happening to entropy? Sorry, people. 1 second. Entropy would appear to have started has crashed or something. So I don't know if anyone's donated on there. 1 second. Just because if they have, I won't see it, and that's not right. So excuse the dead time, but you can use this time to get your heartbeat down, because this is going to blow minds. And there you go. And there you go. I missed a couple of entropies, so I'm glad I've done that. I will get them up on the screen in a few moments. Thank you, Clarks and Mousecat. I've just caught those, so I knew there was a reason to do that. Yeah, there you go, Mousecat. I just saw it. And likewise, Clark's Undercover Army. I'll put them on the screen. Right, are you ready?
All right.
Right about now, you're about to be possessed by the sounds of MC Rawface and DJ.
I can't handle it. Oh my gosh. I've given up on the community strikes. It's just too good.
I wanna rock right now. I'm Rawface and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone because I get stupid. I mean outrageous.
Good Lord. It absolutely was. Well, it's the amen break, isn't it? Again. Do you know, our pal, I was just thinking that it's just too good. It was just too good. But you know, it's a bit different sitting at home streaming. I mean, I'm in the safety of the glorious house of Scrubs. You wouldn't catch me doing that in public. I've got a reputation to uphold, as much for your benefit as mine. What a tune. You don't reckon that was the amen break? Really? I'll have to look into that. I will be corrected, but it damn sounded like it to me. But I'll have a look into it later, and fair play. I might have learned something. I always thought that was. What am I doing here? Here we go. Mousecat says, here, hope this makes up a bit and worthwhile. Of course it does. Nice one, Mousecat. Clark's Undercover Army. One more. Lovely. Thank you. 2 hours, 10 minutes. Long stream. And the old Goebbels. I don't think they're called that, are they? Nodules? The old nodules are holding up. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I know. I've nearly reached my limit already. I think this stream could end any second, Jimmy. I've decided not to pay it until the start of next month. I'm just trying to eke out my last few 3 hours. Right, one more song because the youngsters are getting bored. We've lost about 20 viewers. Now, what's the last one going to be of this era? This era, because this is like 88 to 89 really we've been playing. This could have been any. I could have played many tunes to finish this couple of years little walk down nostalgia road, but I think this one counts because in England we'd heard nothing like this. And I'm not a fan of the genre, but again, you couldn't go to what was then called a nightclub. This was pre-raves. Well, kind of, sort of, maybe about 6 months. But this would always just bring the house down. Are you ready?
I've said it before, once more, time after time. So still I more than enough. Too much pressure is force. Rules the boss, original. And everything I do, especially when I'm doing it.
The problem, of course, is playing that has reminded me of something even better. Right, last one, I promise you. Last one. Who can call it? Fuck me.
I'm rated R, this is a warning, you better avoid. Poets and paranoid, DJs destroy. Cause I came back to attack others despite. It's like lightning, it's quite frightening. But don't be afraid in the dark, not a...
Here's what's going to blow your minds. I could tell you the lyrics to that whole album. Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leaders, the album. That's the first track, side one. Lyrics of Fury. Lyrics of Fury. Good Lord. That was good fun. We haven't done that for a while. Well, maybe we'll have to... I'm going to get about 20 emails now. You've got a community guideline strike. The only problem with that is sometimes they block you. Sometimes they earn money from your video and they're welcome to it. But it's when you're blocked. So anyone who comes along later and goes, oh, look, there's a 2.5 hour stream. That'll give me something to enjoy. No, because some bastard record producer doesn't want their music to be played. That was good fun. Very funny. I can remember my old man was still alive when I was listening to that. And Imagine him coming home from work and seeing me like 14 or 15 and really serious. So didn't quite have the parody that I was doing now. You know, I understand it's funny. Young people, I understand there's an element of humor to the old music. But I'd be really serious, just sitting there going, I'm rated R, this is a warning, effective. And my old man, I said to him once, amazing, isn't it, Dad? And he went, if you like that sort of thing, which was his way of saying, no, it's not. It is not. No way. Who said that? Hang on. Who said that? Our pal saw them live. Funny thing was, hip hop in those days was about who was the best rapper, who had the biggest microphone, who had the most records, you know. And then in the space of about 20 years, it was who's killed the most people. And it's like, yeah, don't know if I like that so much. Don't know if that. That's done me up a little bit. I've gone, you know, I told you on this morning stream, thank you, Packer. Brings back so many memories I don't have. Yeah, you nailed it there. He, you know, I told you on this morning's stream that I had that dream, and I've been having a lot of them, and it's that period when I turned into a man. I wrote to that girl as well. I see the little bit where she's seen the message, but no reply. And that, you know, that's all right. Gutted. I only wanted her to say hello. But after that, I'm obsessed with it, oh, Dan. I'm obsessed with it. It's been the theme of my writing. Yeah, no, fair point. Yeah, that it got started getting a bit angry, didn't it? Where's that comment? Yeah, you know, it's been the theme of most of my writing, songs as well as stories all my life. I'm really into it. We talked about it this morning. The pain of wanting to return home. There's something about that I just find beautiful, and you know, I have a natural passion for that emotion. There's something about it that it's going to get a bit dark here, but when George Bataille wrote his book, I think it's either images of Eros or images of, he wrote another one, I always get confused. I think it's images of Eros. And there's the photographs, I showed them on the channel before, of a bloke when they tortured him doing the 100 pieces or the 1,000 pieces. They chop his arms off, they chop his legs off, they cauterize the wounds so he doesn't die, so he can feel the pain. You can see his ribs where they've hacked all the skin off. But his face, if you saw the face alone, you wouldn't know whether it was agony or ecstasy. And there's that same kind of thing with nostalgia. You know, that pain of wanting to return home. And as I explained to you this morning, and this isn't a definition, this is an interpretation. But home, I see home in that context, in the context of nostalgia. I see home as love. And that idea of that bittersweet pain of you know, wanting to return to love. It's just so pure for me, and it permeates all my creative work, not intentionally. It's not contrived. I'm not like, oh, that's what I write about. I don't sit down and think, oh, I'll write about nostalgia. But when I read the work afterwards, and it's not blatant, you wouldn't necessarily read it and say, oh, that's a bit about nostalgia. But me being the author, I can see the signs and think, here we go again. Here we go again. And it's, weirdly, my life's work has been riddled with nostalgia so far. And I think when you read my novel, you'll no, why not? The word nostalgia comes from the Greek nostos, which means return home, wanting to return home, and algia, which means pain. Nostalgia is unseparatable from pain. It's painful, but it's a pain that's strangely pleasant. You know, you want to go back to that love, to that home. There's a yearning. And when you've got a yearning combined with pain, I think in many ways that summarizes the human condition. You know, if you've got an ambition, you're yearning, you want something, you want to make something happen, and we'll look at the community chat in a minute. You want something to happen, but it's hard getting there. It's painful. You know, most of life has that dialectic. You know, when someone dies, it's just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And the minute they die, the minute they are gone, you want them back. You know, if there was love there, if there was hate there, it's a different kettle of fish. If there was indifference there. But that sense of pain and a return to love, it's almost the contradiction that holds the human condition together. I don't mean the human condition as a lived experience. I mean as a, you know, the history of art and literature has got that odd contradiction. And even life itself, you're going to die. It's going to end. You fall in love with someone, they're going to die, or you're going to die. That's going to happen. And yet you do it anyway. You throw yourself into it. You'll take that on the chin later. And I think it's just always had such a, it's always been quite a big theme in my life. And also I developed an idea of prostalgia. And prostalgia, using the same Greek, different Greek, but prostalgia, prosthetic, so sort of a supplement or other. It's wanting to return to a home you never had, wanting to return to a love you never had. And I've checked that with people in the past as well, like close friends. I've explained it to them. I've explained the feeling that I'm talking about. You know, give me a 1 in the chat and think about this. I know it takes balls. Hello, Neil Christie. Haven't seen you about. I know it takes a bit of balls to sort of confess this stuff, but have you ever? How am I going to make this? Like when you watch a movie or something, when you watch a movie or you read a book, you know, and paintings as well, and there's something in it that's so sorrowful, so painful, and yet there's part of you that wanted to experience what's being told, and you want to go back there. You know, I think, what did I watch? I think there's a movie called 1969. I think one of the Dillon brothers is in it, not the best one, not Matt Dillon. And you kind of you've got nostalgia for someone else's love, for someone else's home. You know, I'm not giving that the power of nostalgia, which, as I said, I think it kind of expresses the human condition. But prostalgia is something I delved into for a while. You know, like if you've got a rotten hangover or if you're coming off of opiates or any, you're feeling sorry for yourself, and you see someone just getting on with their normal life, they're walking their kids to the park or something, and you're sitting there all jangled and feeling all dirty and like your life's a mess, and you think, oh, I'd love to just be that bloke right now, just nice simple life, taking your kids to the park. That's what I mean by prostalgia. It's like that painful nostalgic yearning for then. Sam has just said what I was about to say. Exactly that. So it's like a nostalgia for other people's love, I suppose, and their love of their life. Good call, Emma. I think there was a couple of other ones up there, so at least a couple of Mrs. Me in it was on it. It's a strange one. All right, people, I'm going to deal with my 30 emails saying you can't play that music. I hope the stream doesn't get blocked. Oh, I've nearly missed that. That's a lovely ending to the stream. Nice one. You know what I'm talking about. Let me just drop that. Oh, what a tune. Are we talking Hawkwind? Hurry on Sundown's lovely. Most of what I used to go and watch the Hawkwind 24-hour Technicolor Dreams up at Brixton Academy, where you'd have Hawkwind, Ozric Tentacles, Back to the Planet, Sensor, RDF, 24-hour gigs. Yeah, everyone was on acid. But Hurry on Sundown is lovely. I'll give you that. I mean, I'm not into it. I quite like Douglas in the Jungle for its peculiarity. But let me just do this because it's only fair. Zeitgeist has dropped in a 25. He says, I'm lucky you sorted out entropy. I was giving up hope. Nostalgia is painful if you are alone, but joyful with friends. Actually, very interesting. Thank you for that donation, Zeitgeist. You're a regular supporter of the channel, and that's much appreciated. And regularly large amounts as well. So lovely. That's actually quite interesting because I've obviously in my investigation of nostalgia, I've used that with like when there's couples and when one of them's trying to explain it to the other one, and when you're trying to explain that yearning and that pain and yet that indulgence in pain, that sort of masochism, if the other person's not getting it, it's actually more painful because you're thinking, oh, come on, surely you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, but if you can communicate that and trust that the other person does actually understand it and does feel that pain and does have the yearning, then you've communicated. And when we communicate, we get closer to each other. And if you can get closer to another human out of a yearning, out of a painful yearning, well, you're nailing it. You're absolutely nailing it. It's a great, great point. Sally says, I went to those gigs. What, the old half of Dartford was there, Sal. Frank watched this with me. He said, good stream. If you're listening, Frank, one day when I get to the Happy Valley, I'm going to come round your drum and talk to you about your father. He was a very good friend of mine and I miss him dearly. I really do. Sally, I remember going up to those things. I'd go up with all my lot and you'd get there and you'd go to the toilets and you'd bump into half of Temple Hill. You'll be like, hello, mate. I think I bumped into Ruther at one once. No, I'd love to. Oh, your mother sent me a photo of you. I haven't seen you since you were tiny. And I'll tell you what, I thought how much you looked like your dad. I showed a friend and he said, I'll tell you who it was, Sal. Do you remember Ben Walker? Nick used to call him youngest. And he said, you can actually see a lot of Sally in there as well. And actually, I think I was being a bit biased, because I miss Nick and that. But yeah, I can't believe you went to those Auckland. Oh my God, they were a drama, weren't they? It was all right the first few hours, but coming out of there a day later, like a zombie, and the sunlight's burning your holes in your eyes. Stop it. Yeah, no problem. I can help you out with that. We might have to do that. We could do that over a video chat because I don't know when I'll be getting back to England, but I can certainly help you out with that. I'll tell you what, Frank, start off by going online and looking up Free Trade because it's an app you can put on your phone and you can start buying stocks on your ISA. But don't do the normal ISA, it's your stocks ISA. Because you get no income tax, no capital gains tax. It's tax-free what you earn on your investments, and you can put up to 20 grand a year into it. Anyway, that's a good place to start. But we'll sort that out. People, I've done 2.5 hours. I've worked all day, and I streamed this morning. I've really got to knock this on the head now. I haven't even got the energy to play a tune to leave. Feels a bit wrong though. It feels a bit wrong. I'll tell you what. I'll play that lovely Mumford tune that I've got into. It feels wrong just to jump. We don't do that round here. We have a nice gentle come down. But I'm really into this tune at the moment, so we'll go with that. Right, listen. I'm writing on my novel over the weekend, but I will need breaks and I might stream. I might get a video out. I will certainly do one or the other for sure. Maybe more than one because I get migraines if I write for too long and I've learned that. And as much as I want to get it finished, I need to back off from reading because it's not just the reading, it's the concentrating. I'm rewriting and editing. It's not fun. It's not fun when your editor says yuck. All right, people, look, enjoy the rest. You're jumping in far too quick. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Be grateful for the weekend because it's wonderful. Take care, people. Hi.
Everyone knows I'm gonna be the first man down. All my friends are sick of having me around. Nobody wants to give a buddy one last break. Can't go on, I've taken all a man can take. Life is a curse, it only gets worse in the world don't watch you drown. Maybe my mind will fail to ever find the point. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the
Oh
waves.
no, I was there, and then we used to go to Glastonbury afterwards. Didn't sleep for about a week and a half.
Gonna lay my head on on the riverbed. Looking back, I rejected every place I stayed. A woman says I'm lying in the bed I've made. She said,
Yeah, I think it's going to be the new regular outro. I'm loving it.
So I get high to justify the mess I'm in. People get mad and people get sad, but at least they have a cause. I struggle to feel emotion I can really trust. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed.
See you later, Al. I'll drop it occasionally. We talked about it, but then we changed our minds.
I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head on the riverbed. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna make my grave underneath the wave. I'm going deep, deep down underwater. Gonna lay my head.
Right, go on. Go and play down your own end. I'll tell your mother what you've been doing with that bag of porno mags you found in the woods.